Hi there, welcome to the Motor Asha podcast. On this episode, we go back to basics of carrying the essentials and being a smart traveler. Hi Priyanka, so good to have you back on this Motor Asha podcast. We've been seeing you out riding since the time we spoke to you. I think it was last year, and what came to our mind was how do people travel with the most essential things, and how do you over time get better on packing things that are really needed rather than just packing a lot of things onto your bags. So what I'm trying to get here is how do you become a smart motorcycle traveler? So if I was to ask you, and maybe if you can introduce yourself once again and let us know how many miles you've clocked since the time, and how every mile has made it different when it comes to carrying such essential things.
So thank you so much for having me. I'm always happy to partake in conversations related to motorcycling, especially in these times when we are locked up and responsibly so. But again, talking about motorcycles, reminiscing about our journeys, and even staring at our bikes is the only respite we all have. So yeah, this is a great conversation, and I think I'd say that I would always start with how we first traveled. I'm sure each one of us, or many of us, always started as foolish travelers by lugging too much of content with us, taking too many items that we don't need, that we're not sure of, whether it was just a weekend trip or versus a 2 week or a 1 month trip. Our luggage would be the same. We'd find luggage or soft panniers with the maximum expandable capacity, and then use every cubic inch of it, which was not wise. So I think it always starts there, because when you learn how much of your luggage you have not used, and how much it was just a burden to carry unnecessarily, you realize that you can do far more with much less. And the smarts to carry only the very essentials, which are, by the way, 80 to 90% common across all motorcyclists now. Maybe the 10% is your individual or personal quirks. I think, save that, all of us pretty much practice the same thing. So it all starts with looking like you've run away from home.
Yeah. So I guess I think the what you've explained is we always start off with taking a bag and just filling it up, trying to
Yeah.
fill the bag up. So let's. So I'm gonna dive deep into it and uh, to ask you, if you were to remove the luggage part and your clothes. That's something that you always need, and there's a lot of people who can. I know they can live on three pairs for months. There's a lot of people who need one pair of clothes every day. So let's leave the luggage part aside. What are the essential things? So let's say if I have to ask you, what are the top 15, or the 10 things, essentials that you would want to carry?
So for me, the essentials would be the items that are within immediate reach, and I would routinely need while on the ride. By that I mean what I'm categorizing as absolute essentials is that, apart from my luggage, which is packed and sealed and tied down, uh, you know what do we keep, which are in quick access, like your tools, or what you're wearing on person. We have so many options now, smart luggage, hydration packs, smart pockets in our gear, or in tank bags. Just the way these items are created to carry your essentials or to access them. I would even say, just to be able to access these items is these are all part of your essentials. I'll say that initially I would carry clothes, and sometimes even full luggage in a backpack. I The most foolish and the most painful experience was carrying your luggage on your back and refusing to tie it down because I just didn't want the trouble of constantly looking at the back. Oh, is the luggage shifting? Is it moving? Has it fallen off in another city? So these were during the early days. But then I'd come back with extreme back pain. I developed long-term neck pain and cervical issues. And I mean, like I said, we have smart luggage options. We have great tie-down options. So I think one of the essentials is a good luggage strap or a good luggage tie down. This is especially when you're not using fix-it panniers or something. So those are very good because it keeps you at peace. They secure your luggage to a large extent, even keep it secure and safe when you are parking your motorcycle. That's one of the essential items I would think of when you're going on your trip. Finding a good harness or a tie down for your luggage.
Okay, so it's funny because on Instagram, a lot of people I see, when they prepare for a ride the next morning, so they're preparing for 15-day ride or a 10-day ride or a camping ride. There's a lot of people who put everything down on the floor. I mean, I know you've also seen it, and proudly enough, they take a photograph of all the things that they're going to pack and take with them. If I was to give you that, if you were to take that picture and prepare yourself for the next 15 days, what are the things that need to be there in on that floor?
Okay. So first is I think about clothing. I think about smart clothing as well, depending on where I'm traveling and the weather I'm about to encounter. We get a lot of these riding, pants and apparel which are multi-weather resistant in our tropical and very humid climate. We get wicking material, stuff that's easy to carry, will take less space while packing and can be used multiple times by just simple wash and dry.
Yeah.
They should not take forever. You can carry a pair of jeans. The history of jeans or the reason that material was made was so that you don't actually wash it every day, unlike cotton pants. So you can actually carry one pair of jeans that will match all your outfits and whatnot. And so just reducing it and packing reusable clothing that can serve as multi layers. That would be the first item that would go in my luggage.
Okay. Would that include rainwear and all weather gloves and
Like I said, say a while ago, we'd have to carry one for rain, one for cold, one for heat, one for this, one for that.
Yeah.
Now you have materials, you have gear options, you have sporting items which counter 2-3 weather conditions together. Another very important thing I learned was we would make the mistake of preparing for, say, just the leg of the journey or the destination, and then realize that we are prepared for one condition, but we're not prepared for the other. So trying to find, you're not going to find an all-in-one, or there might be, but just trying to find apparel that I can mix, match, and use multiple times during my trip, and reduce the count in my luggage. Although I don't compromise on underwear.
Yeah. So from a not a tech, but there are products in the market that help make it easier for you. So things like communication, things like tools, things like essentials when it comes to maybe a headlamp, or for that matter, maybe a jump starter. Is that something that you think about, or you leave it to your partner to think about? Which part is it?
So another thing is that that's a good point because rather than each of us carrying our own luggage, now it doesn't have to be that you're traveling just with your better half. You could be traveling with other fellow travelers who are there with you from scratch to end and back, and or you have a partner who's traveling with you, a friend or whatever. You can pack smart. You apart from your personal items, you needn't carry duplicate items. You can one can carry the tools, one can carry the manual or some set of instructions. Just a few items that both needn't carry.
Yeah.
So yes, my partner who's sitting right in front of me is will carry all the tools and the manual or the instructions for the bikes that we have, which are not same. And then basic things like a starter, a charger, puncture kit, just the very basic things that can be fixed on a roadside, and we don't have to drag the motorcycles to the nearest service center. We learned some very expensive lessons at the start of our motorcycle journey, where we didn't know how to check for the most basic things, and it cost us 2, 3, 4 hours. And yeah, those were the lessons from there. But comms, yeah, your standard helmet comms are very helpful. Your navigation devices, making sure that the electronics on your, at least the most essential ones on your bikes, are working fine. A powerful headlight, I'm a huge advocate of it. Try as much, to avoid riding in the dark. I've tried to. We do find ourselves sometimes in that situation where you're riding in the dark or you're riding late, and knowing how poorly lit our by lanes and even some sections of the national highway are. We have jaywalkers, and everyone knows the risks. It just heightens 10, 20 times in the dark. So a powerful headlight is very, very important. These are some of the basic checks, before the ride, and some of the essentials I now would refuse to leave without.
Okay. So, from a safety, security, uh, and in case of an emergency, what are what is it that somebody should really keep in mind, and something that is just easy to carry on yourself? Like, I mean, just I'll give you an example of keys. There's a lot of times that you're riding, you stop somewhere, you've gone to the toilet, and by mistake your keys have fallen in, and you can't find them. I mean, that's a very that's a very odd thing. But there are times when you've lost your keys. So how do you prepare for the worst, and what do you do to carry? I mean, even in the case of an emergency, like, what are the things that you need to have? Again, like I said, it needs to be those essential things that have to be on you.
So for the record, I've never lost my keys
Okay.
ever. I've never lost a single set of keys. I'm usually the one in the group, whether it's a tour or a short ride. When I park, the first thing that I have an OCD about the keys, or what is on my bike. So I take the keys out. I also have been in the habit of going and checking all my fellow riders' bikes and pulling out their keys if they have just carelessly left it there. I'm one of those. Of late, I have started using a lanyard, and it's convenient to just attach the key to your neck. It's all. I mean, apart from not leaving it on the bike or losing it, there's also that tendency where you put it in your pant pockets or you put it in a bag, and then when you're about to leave, you forget. So now you spend an extra couple of minutes running around wondering if you've lost it, dropped it, put it in a safe place, and now can't remember where you put it. So it's around your neck, it's easy, or you have a habit of putting in one pocket. Considering the areas and the places we travel, whether it's an open highway or an isolated, I don't think it's wise to leave your key at all in your bike. It's very tempting for some an onlooker, and people still tend to sit on your bike and take it off the stand, may accidentally turn on the engine. There's a lot of room for error there. So the keys always go with me, never lose it. Another thing is that I was very skeptical of using tank bags, and I was not a huge fan of it. In my mind, I kept thinking that it's such a obstacle in front of you on that tank, like right there. But then I last year got a giant loop Fandango tank bag, and boy, what was that a boon! Because everything is within reach. You don't have to fumble, turn your backpack from the back to the front, get off, open some other zip from your luggage. So yeah, I'm a convert. I love the tank bag, and I love that you can be very smart about what you put in it. Also, your wallet, numbers, or your phone. If you don't want to carry it on your jacket or on person, you can keep your phone over there. The transparent pockets allow for you to keep information there. So yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I think the tank bag is a very interesting conversation because I remember doing a trip from Pune to Bangalore, and I would s- I needed to reach Bangalore. So it meant stopping less and only stopping for fuel. And those were those, fuel breaks of 15, stop, fuel, and get on. Surprisingly enough, some of the things that I carry and that really helps me save time are those snack bars, which really, while you're riding, you can, I mean, I mean, don't try it. It's unsafe at times, but there are sometimes where you can just quickly stop, strip it up, and have a munch and keep going. They give you enough sugar. So things that I would carry on a tank bag: uh, gloves, definitely an extra pair of gloves if it rains. Again, snack bars, sunblock. Sunblock is very important. I think I mean, we always miss out on. I mean, I'm going to ask you, why would somebody carry sunblock? I mean, I have a different reason. Why would you carry sunblock?
You've never carried sunblock,
I,
that's for
I,
sure.
I do, but I don't use it most times, but yeah.
I use sunblock because I'm always in the habit of using sunblock. I'm very I don't put anything on myself when I'm traveling at all. I'm just, I mean, by nature, I don't have any items or big routine or some that, that kind of stuff. I don't do that. But yeah, sunblock is a must because I've always lived in very hot conditions. Spent better part of my childhood in Africa and then in India. I mean, I was in Pune in school and everything. I'd suffer very quickly from sunburns that would, be painful at the end of the day. And of course, for the most holistic reasons also, where we have very harsh sunlight. In the long run, it's not good for you. It's not good for your health, for your skin. And just to protect myself, I make sure that I have sunblock on me, and yeah, I find that as an essential for
Yeah.
that reason.
So I think for somebody like somebody on the run by themselves, I mean things like just stopping because there might be a puncture because you're gonna be stuck for maybe 15, 20 minutes or maybe an hour. I mean, these are the times when you really need a sunblock, and it really helps. It does help. So I'd carry that. I mean, earplugs. Earplugs is something that I recently got. As I aged, it really has helped. It really has helped me with fatigue, especially with fatigue, because when you're doing long runs, it's just all you're doing is just hearing that one sound, which is the sound of the noise of air, wind that's going by. By putting these earplugs in, I mean, it really like you don't get tired. That's for sure. So I carry that on in my tank bag, neck gaiters and neck bands. So these are all very easy access. So even things like even my tank bag, if you've stopped, you've stopped to do something. There's quick things that you pick up. You picked up a juice or you picked up something to eat. That tank bag just keeps carrying. So there's a that essential. I think for me, the essential pack on a motorcycle is your tank bag, and it really works well. Is there anything else that you would carry on in a tank bag?
Well, I know that we put emergency numbers, we put our blood group on our bikes and our helmets. I do keep a paper, as medieval or draconian as it sounds, but consider the areas that we travel in. Sometimes we travel in remote patches. We are crossing remote villages, areas. We can have all the technology in the world, ice numbers on our phones, SOS buttons, and so on and so forth, things written on our helmet. But somehow I find that a piece of paper with information resonates, or is a quick response for the locals who may not be familiar with technology, or with just even understanding that the number is written on the bike. For security reasons, I wouldn't put my number on the bike. Or sorry, any other numbers or something. Yes, a blood group, very important. But in what I carry is a piece of paper with names, numbers. I also make sure that if I'm putting that information on that paper, said people on that paper also know that their numbers are for emergency, and they should they should respond quickly, and B, that they are in a position to respond quickly. I can't be putting my best friend's number in Delhi if I have a best friend in Delhi and I put their number and I'm traveling south. Doesn't make any sense. So local numbers or friends, family who will be able to help quickly. Papers are very, very helpful. At least somebody knows, somebody will call any one of those numbers and someone will have that information. I put there. I definitely carry some bars, but I'm kind of not a big eater or muncher on travels. I don't know why. I've just conditioned myself like that. I do occasionally stop. I mean, not occasionally. For long journeys, you have to stop. But I eat very light. For me, a very hearty or heavy meal tends to make me very lethargic, very lazy. My energy saps in a way that I'm just feeling lethargic. Not that the food itself is not energetic. So I snack very less. I've just recently started carrying bars actually, and they are helpful. Makes our stops also very, very short. Because even if you get into a restaurant to have a small bite, that small bite is usually lasts an hour.
Yeah.
So yeah, that. And I carry cash. One lesson I learned is that even with the advent of using Google Pay and all the electronics, there are petrol pumps where they say it's not working. Our card machine is not working. This is not working. That is not working. It could be the weather. It could be the network. Number of factors. So carrying cash, very important. And I'm also very old school about it. If I'm carrying a significant amount of cash on me, I don't keep it all in one place.
Yeah.
I split it so that some of it is easily reachable. The others is for security reasons stashed away safely somewhere else. I had years ago invested in dog tags. They're very cheap. You can the name, number, your blood group, just that basic, very small basic information on your dog tags. Also very recognizable, easily accessible. Who knows, in the event something unfortunate happens, that information is there on your body, on person. So never had to use it, thank God. But yeah, dog tags, old fashioned.
Yeah.
Just keep all that stuff with me.
Yeah. So the military tags is a very interesting one because there's a lot of people I know who carry their spare key
Yeah.
along with that military or dog tag that's around the neck. So that's very interesting. One of the things that also I add to my tank bag is a headlamp, the one that you carry. The camping headlamps that you have. Those are very interesting.
The 5-6 headlamps you have
Yeah, the
picked
five
up
six
from
from
Decathlon.
yeah, the
Okay, yeah.
Decathlon. So how does it help you? Just consider this: if you're traveling at night and something goes wrong with your bike, if there's a puncture, you don't have somebody to carry a torch with you to figure out how to remove that wheel of yours. So they help you find things, they help you find things in your bags. So definitely carry that. From a security, I'll go back to the security and safety. Now phones have that function of when you click 5 times your power button or 3 times the power button, those SOS features are pretty interesting because again you can put your name and number and it automatically, unless of course you're in a very critical state. Apart from that, I think it really works. So I think we've covered emergency. Bluetooth headsets are amazing things. I think it's become a necessity now than anything else. We use it apart from the fact to fight. We use it even to help each other out when it comes to things like if there's a danger ahead, if there's if there's water ahead, if there's something. So they really help. I think Bluetooth headsets have really helped you with your riding as well, in particular.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd add charger. I'd add charger and a battery pack.
Yeah.
So for very long distances, and because I constantly listen to music, like from the get go till the very end, I don't put my music off. It's just the way I enjoy my rides. I need the music. Also for really long stretches, it kind of keeps me awake, and I have a playlist and whatnot. That means that either my phone or my Senna device will run out of charge because it's constantly run. It happens rarely, but the phone tends to lose battery quickly. So I keep a fully charged battery pack with me to charge on the go. And I carry a charger also with me, as in the head device, because I don't want to drain my battery pack. So maybe the conjuice in me, when we stop at a restaurant, a coffee shop, I would use the local socket or electrical options and preserve my battery pack.
Yeah.
Last year when we did a trip, it should have ideally been finished by half a day, but then we just stretched and stretched and stretched, and we made multiple stops, and then we met our friends along the way, and it became close to, I think, a 20-hour journey.
Yeah.
By virtue of stopping so much. And during that time, yes, my battery drained, so I keep my battery pack. Another thing that I keep with me is sanitary wipes, and I also keep just sanitary pads and tampons with me. Not only because I may need it, but there are other women on the road. Never know whom you may meet. There have been one or two occasions where somebody has needed it or asked, and on a trip, if it's unpredictable, and you are often caught in areas or remote petrol pumps where these items are not readily available. So always good to just keep them with you. You may need it, somebody else may need it, and it's a lifesaver for us. And although I have to say that the bathroom facilities, more often than not, and surprisingly, are very clean. On occasion, they may be dirty, or you just want to keep wipes with you, antibacterial wipes. So for me, those are very, very important.
Yeah. Good. I think that's a very important point for a lot of female riders also. Considering, I think one of the things that we've faced is there's not many public urinal facilities for women. Like, I mean, I think the stops that you would do would be at a restaurant, a petrol pump. I mean, those are a little limited, and like you said, they could be hygienic. They couldn't, and you have to prepare for yourself. So that's very important. I think one of the things that I do when it comes to keys, and it helps, is, I mean, you've seen it also, carrying those carabiners. You get all sizes of carabiners. So what I do is I keep a carabiner attached to my key also, and I have carabiners on my on the hydration pack that I carry. So as soon as, and you make it a habit where you remove it and you just click it in, and it stays there, or you use the carabiner to put it across your pants if it has a hook or something somewhere. So that's good. Some of the mechanical essentials that I think I carry, and it makes most of my bags full. I'll go really quickly so it doesn't bore our listeners. So RSA, definitely RSA. A puncture repair kit for sure. Air compressor, definitely carry that. A fuel siphon. There's a. I mean, I think you should tell these stories. I think I'm pretty.
You're a repeat offender.
I'm a repeat offender to. I don't know. Maybe you can go ahead and share the story.
Well, I'm going to be extremely honest about it, because before the 390 adventure, actually, it's never happened on a long trip, but whenever you took my precious Bonnie out, and considering that it does not have a fuel gauge, only an indicator, which sporadically pops on just to let you know first that, hey, you're reaching your limit, or you're on reserve, and then comes into full swing when you have breached that limit. And then I think over the years, it just sporadically works. It needs a little bit of checks or change, you know. I found that I go from tank to tank and I reset my odo. That's how I work, and it has worked flawlessly for me. You, on the other hand, despite several warnings, tend to think that the bike will magically produce fuel, or will not let you down, and you will go on and on and on an empty tank.
Yep.
And I think this has happened like 8 times till now, because you refuse to go to petrol pumps and stand in the line.
Yep.
I'm not sure why. But the most trusted device that started as an emergency purchase from a local store, thank God they had it, became a common fixture with us. Not only because of the T100, but because you never know who may need it where. And the traditional method, of course, is that you put the end of the pipe and then you suck the fuel out. But then the suction pump is much more easier, and you can put it in a bottle. So yeah, I advocate
Yep.
especially for travelers such as yourself.
Yes. So I believe in technology. I think now the bikes have gotten better, but they are. I mean, I don't know. I take it till the last zero, and yeah. Anyways,
Never worked
so
well, right?
I'll leave that to another conversation. But yeah, toolkits. I think toolkit is a very important part of carrying what you have to. There are bike specific toolkits. I think it's a full topic in its own that we will try to get into sometime later. Bike specific tools for your even simple things like tire, opening the tire axles. They're all specific tools that you need to carry. Something that definitely we'll do later. I don't miss carrying. I will never miss carrying cable ties. I have to carry cable ties. There, I mean, there are superb stories on how
Oh yeah,
a cable tie can help you in an emergency.
bush mechanic.
Yeah, I think you should just hashtag bush mechanic, and you should be able to see what people around the world do to continue the journey with cable ties. Duct tape, same thing. Duct tape can help you with a lot of things. One of the things that really has helped is the kind of helmet also. So I wear a modular helmet, especially on my tours and everything. It's just easier, easy to stop, talk to your friends if you're there, flip it up, have a juice, and move on. So it works really well. Would you? I mean, there's now we see a lot of people carrying fog kits, fog or visor cleaners. Do you carry something like that?
So what I do is that, much as possible, if there are local options, I resort to that. But then when you need specific kits, it's advisable to carry it. Case in point, to clean my visor on any normal given day, it's sunny or cold or whatever, I just, take a gel cleaner or local cleaner, or just take tissue or a wet napkin and I wipe it down. I'm quite lazy. I won't carry the visor cleaner, but an anti-fog kit, especially
Yeah.
during rains, when even more so when the visibility drops, which usually it does during heavy monsoon periods. It tends to get dark from 4 p.m. onwards. It's not like you're bat blind, but then you miss important things on the road. And I've been in more monsoon conditions than I can count, and I, to date I don't take that for granted, with everything in place. But then makes a huge difference not to have your visor fog up, and yeah, that's an absolute must. I have invested in it, in these patches, and you get sprays and you get wipes and everything. So I've invested in them. But yeah, other things I'll just use a napkin or a tissue paper and clean it and go. I'm not that crazy, or not so particular,
Yeah.
like some folks. Yeah.
So I think we've come towards the end of this podcast.
You missed a medical kit.
Yes. So maybe you can have a.
I'm in the habit of carrying one antibiotic for
Yeah.
your stomach, and I carry something like a Lomotil or an Imodium
Yeah.
in case you develop an upset stomach during your journey, because you never know what you're eating or what you had the night before or something like that, when it's going to kick in, and it's the most uncomfortable to ride with cramps, and or even seeing somebody else riding like that. So I carry those for the
Yeah.
stomach especially. And I carry one or two sachets of electral, or I might just pick it up along the way, because you can have protein bars, you can have stuff, but then at peak summer, when you don't want to, or you're not a big fan of, like me, of eating dry foods or a protein bar, which tends to dry out your mouth, the liquid substitute is having electral, ORS, or like just glucose water with flavor, some sugar, and you can just keep. In fact, you can keep sipping it through your hydration pack, so it just makes it easier, and that is something that I would definitely carry.
Wow. See, that's what when you're a couple riding, you complement each other, and I think I think the medical thing is something that I would never even bother carrying with me, because when you ride, you just forget everything and you're riding. But it's a very important part of it. I've gone through an upset stomach, and it's just I mean you just want to get to where you have to. But one of the other things that I suggest, and I always tell folks that ride with me to carry, is your manual, and just even if you're not able to carry that big manual with you, I think now we've got all the PDF copies on your phone. So what I usually do is just important things like tire pressure, things that you would forget, load capacity, how much can you really load that bike up, suspension setups, even things like electrical outputs, and the bulbs, what bulb it is, what wattage. So all those things are parts of a page on a PDF, so you can you can screenshot it, save it on your drive, and always have it accessible to when you're on the run, and some emergency shows up. So uh, these are the things I'd carry. Definitely, if you're a guy who's running tubeless tires, you should definitely have those puncture kits and carry the iron, the a tube. Uh,
Or a girl running a tubeless
yeah,
tire.
I mean, there's a lot of people who really still worry about how do I, fix my puncture. Tubeless tires are easy. I'd suggest definitely head down to if you're doing long trips, you definitely need to get a crash course by sitting at your roadside tire wala and seeing how he plugs those. So figure that part of it out. Rubber tube tires, what I usually do is your option to not spoil your journey is to figure to get that tire out of there. Don't try to ride with that tire. Figure a way to get that tire out of there, and then find if you're not able to fix that puncture by putting patches. Make sure that you find somebody on the road who can take you to the closest petrol pump or the tire wala. So those are easy fixes. They won't spoil your journey, and you're not stuck there thinking finish it, that's the end of my journey. So you got to figure out how to make your journey comfortable, uh, better, and continuous. I think that's the point that I'm trying to make. So thank you, Priyanka. I think you've given a very different perspective to what we are. Is there, I mean, if there's something that you're missed out on, uh, please let us know. I mean, apart from the fact that you're traveling with good people, and I don't want to ask you if you want to change them, but yeah, if there's anything else that you missed out on, please go
Oh,
ahead.
that's also essential, the people you carry
Yeah.
to travel with. Well, one very quirky item I carry with me is a collapsible or a foldable food bowl. So initially, I used to carry something in my luggage, and or not the most convenient one, but I've seen that you get these silicone collapsible bowls. That's because I'm again always in the habit of, when I stop, I'm looking for local puppers, I'm looking for dogs, cats, and if they get my attention, I'll probably land up spending another hour or two until people drag me away. You can give them biscuits. We do give them biscuits, or we find, if you are like me, sometimes I carry small sachets of just treats and food and stuff. but more often than not, they don't have a water source. They don't get to drink, and you can't put that in a dirty cup, or you can't put it on the floor. So I just thought that, you know what, this is really annoying. So I got myself a collapsible pet bowl from Amazon, and I've used one of the carbiners, night eyes carbiners, to attach it to my bag. It's secure. It's easy to just take it off, give them what it is, and give them food, water, whatever you want in that bowl. Clean it, or wipe it down, and then put it back again. So that's it is part of my essential list.
Yeah.
Which now that I have it, I can't do without it, because earlier I used to struggle a lot. So, yeah.
Good. So you're now a responsible, smart motorcycle traveler. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening to this podcast. I want to hear your stories, your motorcycle experiences, what you've been doing, and how motorcycles have made your life better. So if you have something to say, DM us on Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to get you on this podcast.